So after getting started, I kind of went out there really just to pick a couple things up, and the next thing you know, I actually picked it all up in like 2 hours. So whenever I bought this house, which that's not all just from whenever I bought it, but when I bought this house, I remember walking around and there were just like piles of like burnt trash all over the place and just trees that started to grow. And the barn was just full of trash and full of like insulation and random things. And as I've slowly started to clean it up, this was just the last pile that I had not gotten to. Well, it was actually, I had moved some of the stuff, which was inside the barn. It was in the lean-to that goes all the way around the barn. Anyway, but I actually loaded it here when you weren't watching. It was really heavy. I actually bruised my leg unloading it. That doesn't matter. No, but I'm a little bit more of a doer than a recorder, but this is an entire process. I actually haphazardly just threw this on here, and I really kind of got lucky. I drove like 50 miles an hour, and I didn't lose a single thing. And I'm really shocked because I've lost more than one thing while driving, even when strapped down. But so after I'd gotten all the stuff picked up, I picked up most of the trash at least. I think this is kind of part of me getting it somewhat level. But this was like an entire process. I mean, as I'm doing this, I'm just finding more and more just clay tile and glass and just pieces of stuff that really doesn't need to be there. And you can see my chickens are just always everywhere I am. I don't know. They like to forage. And so is Jet. I think I got so distracted here, I looked up and he was over at the neighbor's house, which is a good ways away. They have a female dog that he is in love with.
All right, so this is gonna be where I'm gonna build those breeder pens. So I was sitting there thinking about it, and I didn't want to cut this tree down, but I realized I think it's gonna get in the way, and I don't want to make a mistake and wish that I would have just done it the correct way the first time. Anyways, everything's mostly out of the way, not really, not even a little bit out of the way. There's just a bunch of junk everywhere, and I really need to clean it up. But but I did do some reconsidering, and I realized so I'm probably gonna make my coop two 10-foot sections, and that looks terrible right now. But I'm gonna put that pin here after. So then I technically will have enough for another like 9-foot pin, but we'll see what I do. This is just the beginning. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna cut that tree up. All this stuff has to get taken care of. That needs burned, those need stacked. The wind just keeps blowing them. But I have all my stuff underneath here, so I don't really have room for it right now. But I'm gonna get rid of this tree, and then I'm gonna dig my post holes, and I'm gonna level those, and I might frame the beginning of my lean-to. So this is crooked, this goes downhill. This is level right here. And up here is pretty level, but down there it like drops off. So trying to keep that from messing with the very end of this, I'm just gonna not put a pin there. I'm not gonna extend the lean-to there. I might extend the lean-to on the other side. But for now, I'm gonna make two 10-foot breeder pins. At least that's my plan. And then I also thought I could always make an add-on and have runs out to each side. You know, we'll see how it works. All right, but I'm gonna get to cutting that tree up.
So if you can, just try to ignore all the stuff absolutely all over the place. So like again, whimsically, I decided that I was gonna go pick up a pin, and this pile that's here on the bottom left in front of the tractor is a pile of wood that I need to go take over there and burn, but I'm just waiting on the limbs, which now I have more to burn it later. Anyways, but I threw it off the trailer so I could just take the trailer with me, and then I was like, oh, I'll take care of it later. But you know how life works. And like there's a bunch of vinyl siding that I was like, I need to get this out under the lean-to. And I pulled it out, and we had like a tornado. And because of the tornado, dude, it just sent all of the plastic gutters and the plastic siding everywhere. And then I got this free box. And again, the whole carport, not the carport, gosh dang. The whole lean-to is just full of materials that I bought at an auction. Slowly, they're getting out of there, and then that I think is going to be my storage that I used to use the barn for.